missed that. What happened, Jay? They was arguing. They was getting ready to scuffle or something.
Who are you talking about?
The Nuggets.
Will Barton and DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh, I missed that. I don't know how I missed that. That just got by me.
Yeah, they had a little bit of an issue throughout the course of the game, a little miscommunication. It happens.
Jokic was getting into it a little bit in that game.
Well, Jokic got the tech. I mean, Jokic was very in his own emotional bag last night. But honestly, when you look at some of the players he's playing with, you would be in your own emotional bag too.
Well, some of the players that Steph is playing with are the same from that death lineup from 2015, 16, 17, right? You had back then Steph and Clay and Iggy and Harrison Barnes and Draymond Green. That was the small ball lineup. And then they turned Harrison Barnes somehow into Kevin Durant and hardly ever lost again, right? But now they come up with Jordan Poole, Jay.
Yo, listen to me and hear me closely on this one, y'all. Jordan Poole has extended the Warriors championship window for another 5 years.
5 years?
5 years, man. Like, if they could, he's the 28th pick in the 2019 draft. I remember watching him at Michigan and thinking, this kid can be a prolific scorer. Right now, I didn't know it was going to translate this quickly to the league, but the fact that he is not a finalist for most improved player in the league is just an atrocity, right? Like, you got top 5 picks who are up for this award, and Ja Morant and Darius Garland, DeJounte Murray's in this conversation too. But this dude can do everything that Steph and Clay, he's been mentored by both of them. He could dance with the ball. Look at the shots that he's making.
Yeah.
And he's an elite passer. He made behind-the-back passes last night to people trailing in transition. We were like, damn, you're adding him, an explosive scorer, to the continuity of Steph. Came off the bench last night and dropped 30.
And they got
in 23
long,
minutes.
athletic guys that they've drafted too. Listen to what Steve Kerr said about Jordan Poole and what he's picked up from Steph.
Some of the flurries out there from him tonight reminded me of his teammate who came off the bench a little bit. It's pretty remarkable to see the similarities now that with both the on and off ball stuff. I mean, Jordan has had a pretty good apprenticeship with learning from Steph, but he was fantastic tonight.
You know, he's been sitting around for a while waiting for this moment. He, like you said, Jay, in 2019, coming out of Michigan, you can see some, especially last year, the year before, you can see a little bit of flash here and there, but you didn't see this. I mean, this is something different. But when you're around a guy like Steph Curry and you're around veteran players that play at a high level, that sort of stuff just rubs off on you. You know, when you are not, Jay, when you're not accustomed to going out shooting 500 jumpers or threes or whatever you want to call them, then all of a sudden Steph Curry grabs you by the wrist and says, man, I'm getting ready to go shoot. Come out here with me. And then all of a sudden you out there shooting. You look up and you just getting more practice and more practice and more practice, and it turns into 29 points, 5 boards, and 6 assists.
It's also just the environment you're around and who you're competing against and all that is it will tend to bring out the best, right? Like you rise or fall to what's around you a lot of the time. So if Poole is there with like the scenarios that Key just brought everyone through, it's not just like he's getting shots up. He's getting shots up with Steph Curry.
But you're even seeing the moves, or like the little push-out dribble, and then he combines that with the step back at the same time. It's a different iteration of Steph. He's not as prolific shooter as Steph, but it's a different iteration of Steph. And think about what that does for Klay Thompson. Now, all of a sudden, if you're Klay, right, there's not the same pressure on you to come back and be that elite player that you were before you got hurt 2 years ago. It's just, yo, man, you're looking at it. I'm sitting there looking at Memphis, and I'm looking at Phoenix, and I'm saying, yo, this team that could win a championship right here. Golden State Warriors championship right here.
I mean, like, it's funny because you talk about the Splash Brothers, Steph and Clay, but you have Poole and Wiggins. Like how many guard, athletic or else shooters do you need in your backcourt?
And Draymond did a hell of a job on Jokic. I mean, they were so physical with him. They gave him a variety of different looks defensively. They frustrated him. And, the conversation comes out of that for Jokic. Look, man, when you look at Jokic on this team, a lot of people last night, the narrative on social media was, well, I'm watching Jalen Brunson carry the Mavericks and to beat Utah all by himself. And he had 41 points. And how come Jokic can't carry his team? I'm like, man, do you know who Jokic is playing with? Like,
nope.
Like that's a
I don't. Tell me, Jay.
key. He's playing with guys, and I like guys, but like Aaron Gordon received the bag, and he has been doing nothing. It didn't even feel like his ass was on the court last
Well,
night.
I mean, but Aaron Gordon's probably their second best player.
Will
Hey,
Barton,
man.
Monte
Hey, man.
Morris.
I love you, Jay, but ain't no excuses for me.
Come on,
I can't
Key.
buy it, man.
Key, come on,
If
Key.
I'm that dude, I'm putting it on my back. I don't care. I'm a will
LeBron
away.
James couldn't get the Lakers to the playoffs this year. LeBron.
Wait, LeBron James has been in and out of the damn lineup too.
But Key,
Come on, now.
if you were to take Joel Embiid and put Embiid on the same lineup with the Nuggets, it would be the same result. You know that, right?
All I know is what I see.
I'm just trying to tell you, it would be the exact same result. Like Joel Embiid wouldn't be able to carry this team past the Golden State Warriors with the way they can shoot the ball from the outside. This is being real about it.
No, of course.
I just don't think
that
that should be an argument used against Jokic. If you have Embiid as your MVP, fine. But don't try to make this because they got beat up by the Golden State Warriors.
I just want to see. I want to see the same sort of intensity for Jokic in the postseason as the regular season. That's all.
Well, I mean, you can.
That's all.
The bottom line is you need there's a requisite level of skill you need around you and talent you need around you to succeed in the playoffs against the team that we just mentioned has Steph and Clay and Dre, and by the way, Poole and Wiggins, and then they have guys who didn't even really play but are long guys who with athletic upside like Kuminga and guys like this on the roster. That is not the situation. Jokic's second best player is Aaron Gordon right now.
So I'll tell you this: next year you should have Denver close to the NBA Finals or the Western Finals. If they get Jamal Murray back, which he's on the verge of coming back right now, he's just choosing not to. He's been cleared to play. He's been choosing not to with Michael Porter Jr. in this lineup. They could be Western Conference Finals type of team.
Especially with Porter Jr.
Just saying that.
Steph Curry's 34 off the bench. By the way, I didn't even mention this. In 23 minutes is the fastest 30-point playoff game in the shot clock era. That's 54-55. Stats Incredible is brought to you by My Computer Career, training for a better life. So we found, finally, they figured out a way for Josh Allen to not lose to Patrick Mahomes in a big game. It's after Key has this from Straight Talk Wireless.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless now, offering your $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on Americans' largest and most dependable networks. The $45